Hello and welcome to the Hellraiser blog. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed today's blog, please hit the subscribe button. We love growing the Hellraiser boxing YouTube family. Big fight this weekend, big Yorkshire Derby, rivalry between Josh Warrington and Kid Galahad. Kid Galahad been sort of floating around for a while, being almost like a shadow on Josh Warrington, trying to seize every opportunity he can to sort of build the rivalry between them. I'm not a big fan of people that are like constantly calling out, but Galahad, I don't think he's a huge ticket seller. He's not a massive media draw, so that's probably the easiest route for him to get the opportunity to fight for a world title, hence why he's been following Warrington around of late. I actually think Galahad potentially could be. I think he could be a potential banana skin. He's got a lot of the things that could work. Again, I mean, Warrington, like piston-like arms, very quick feet, good at getting in range, and doesn't really have the most impressive jab, but he uses his jab very well to buy himself that little split second to get his feet into range so that he can fight at close quarters. And he has like buzzsaw-like arms, he just lets fly, and very few fighters in the world I think that could keep up with Josh Warrington once he gets going and gets some momentum going. I think there's some genuine needle between Warrington and Galahad, apart from them being local rivals, the same weight, and in they're very much chalk and cheese. They're different to each other. Galahad had some drugs problems, failed a drugs test. I think he blamed his brother, said his brother spiked his drink. I'm not sure, to be honest, if I believe that or not, or what I believe. But I think Warrington is very much what you see, what you get. The rivalry actually reminds me a little bit of Ricky Hatton and Junior Witter. Back in the day, again, Witter was with the Ingles. Galahad is trained in the Ingle Gym in Winkerbank in Sheffield. And again, I wasn't a big fan of it. Witter was sort of following around Hatton every opportunity, trying to sort of drum up some interest, some publicity to make that fight, because Witter wasn't the draw that Hatton was. And I think that Galahad is not the draw that Warrington is. However, there's a difference in this one in that the fight has been made, and the awkwardness of Galahad, I mean, I'm not sure he's quite awkward enough, because like I say, Warrington uses his jab almost as a decoy to quickly get his feet in range, and then once he's in range he goes to work. He doesn't come in from far away throwing lots of punches in a straight line. Warrington for me is underrated technically. As I saw Warrington coming up through the ranks, he was always impressive, but I always thought his tactics were too one-dimensional, and when he got to that higher level against a Frampton or a Selby, he would then be found out, because they would have the moves and the tricks, if you like, to deal with it. However, he beat both of those. I mean, you could say maybe Frampton is maybe a fraction past his peak. You could say that Selby probably, having lost a lot of weight, I mean, he'll never make featherweight again, Selby. So possible that these factors have had an influence which made it easier for Warrington, but I don't think you can overlook the fact that on both occasions where Warrington has had to step up a level and had to deliver on the big stage, he has done so. Almost, I wouldn't say faultlessly, but in fact, we'll go on to faults in a second, because this is, I think, the chance for Galahad. But he's done it without question, without problem, and Warrington has delivered. And I'm sure he'll deliver a very good performance against Galahad, because I think he seems to be the sort of guy that delivers an A1 performance when the pressure is on. He improves as the opponents get better. His performances have improved, and in a different way. Galahad, I remember when I was working for Barry McGuigan, and they didn't want to hear the name Galahad. They wanted nothing to do with it at all. I mean, there's a reason, because of how awkward he is. He's unspectacular, but he's effective, and he's difficult to hit, and he has very good movement. And I think Warrington, like I say, if there is a weakness in Warrington that I've spotted, it would be certainly that he I understand why he has a high guard, because he relies on moving his head side to side and slipping inside the straight punches of his opposition, and much safer to do that when you've got a high guard. But it's so high that there's possibly openings to the body. I think Galahad here boxes southpaw. I think he's going to fight southpaw. The reason why I think that, because as I say, the elbows and the hands are very high, and the southpaw stepping round to the right can then land the front hand, the right uppercut to the body. Also, because of the elbows being so high, impossible, or not impossible, but very difficult to cover the shots coming through the middle. So if Galahad can get his right foot outside of Warrington's right foot, land his right uppercut under the elbow, and then look to land through the middle, if Warrington's elbows come out from the right hook coming from the side, I think then it will allow, and Galahad has a habit of taking that centre of the ring. I was a tall skinny boxer. I'm a big fan of tall skinny boxers taking the centre of the ring, at least at the start of the round, getting your feet as quickly as possible to the centre, and then boxing around your opponent, and not standing in the centre and having a brawl with them, but take that centre, hold it for as long as you can. As soon as the opponent comes into range where it's too dangerous, then you start spinning off to the side and working the angles. And if Galahad can combine doing that with, like I say, I think he boxes southpaw here. I'll be amazed if he goes, if he comes in orthodox. I think he'll do that, the southpaw style, coming round the sides and then up through the middle. If he can do that and control the pace of the fight, because Josh Warrington, as we've seen already, even at a high level, he has a phenomenal work rate. He gets his feet very quickly into range, and one jab is all it takes, and he's in. And once he's in, he stays in, and he keeps working. And Galahad will never have worked at the pace that Josh Warrington will force him to work at. And to me, that is the biggest question mark here. Not that maybe Galahad, because Warrington, Frampton's a very good technical boxer. I've seen him very close up when I was working for Carl and Barry McGuigan, and on a daily basis. And I think Carl is very slick. Carl is a good mover. Carl can nullify lots of things that that maybe either Awad or Warrington could do. But my feeling here is that if Galahad can control the pace through taking that centre of the ring and boxing off it, and not biting, not gambling, not deciding to throw big shots from way out in the bleachers too early, then he can make this very tricky for Warrington. If Warrington gets in close early, if he's able to predict when the initial, like the jab or the punches are coming, and slip and counter, I think that's what you're going to see from Warrington. I think a lot of dummies, a lot of feinting, a lot of moving so into positions where it looks like he's going to throw a shot in order to entice the first punch from Galahad, and then he'll try and get his feet in close as he slips that first shot, get his feet in close and work inside. Warrington's jab is a bit of a strange one. It's not like a knock the teeth out type jab, but it's a range finding. It's fast, it's piston like. It sets up the plays that he makes, if you like, in the second phase of his attacks. Kid Galahad here has to create space. If he can't create space, in my opinion, he gets beat quite easily, because he'll be in big trouble. He'll get drawn into boxing at a pace which is not suitable to him. And Warrington, we know, one thing we do know about him, he has a phenomenal work rate. So if Galahad is unable to create that space, and also just creating that space is probably going to take Kid Galahad out of his comfort zone. It's going to force him to fight at a pace that he's not used to fighting at. If Warrington can use that split second that he gets to get his feet in close, and to use his own movement to get round the sides of Galahad, push him to the ropes and keep him on the back foot, pinned to the ropes or in a corner, then Warrington, I think it's made for him, and he wins it. In terms of my prediction for this fight, I'm going to go for Warrington on points. Mainly because of the work rate factor, and also the fact that his feet are so quick. Look, human body is designed to move forwards quicker than it is designed to move backwards, and I think that Warrington will move forwards quicker than what Warrington will backwards, and Galahad will backwards and sideways. And because of that, you're going to see Warrington actually being able to get his punches off at close quarters. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the blog, please hit the subscribe, and I'm going for Warrington on points. Enjoy your weekend. See you then, guys. Enjoy the fight. Bye bye. Thanks for watching.